Hi, my name is Shikha. I'm a makeup artist for Save a Towel Center Spark, and I will be showing you how to do a no makeup look today. So to start off with, we are going to be focusing on skincare. So skin prep is really important for a no makeup look. You want to make sure that you have really hydrated skin to begin with so that the makeup looks very natural overall. So I'm going to be starting with just quickly cleansing my skin with a makeup wipe. Now we're gonna move on to moisturizer, just to start off with hydrating the skin. Now you wanna make sure that you're using the right type of moisturizer for your skin. If you're more oily, you wanna use something that's a little bit more lightweight in texture, something oil-free. And if you have more dry skin, you wanna use something that's a little bit more rich in texture, just so that it can retain moisture to the skin better. I'm just gonna be starting off with an all-day hydrator from Sephora. This is a lightweight, oil-free moisturizer. I do have more combination skin, so I'm just gonna start off with using something very lightweight. All right, so I'm just taking my lightweight moisturizer and we're just gonna smooth this all over the skin. Now we're gonna start off with working on our base makeup. So, first thing that I'm going to be using is actually a sunscreen that is tinted. This is something, it's not something that everyone uses, but there's a lot of different products that you can use to achieve a very natural look, depending on how much skin texture you have, or if you have any imperfections that you want to cover. For a natural look, you want to show some imperfections because it's supposed to still look like you, it's supposed to still look like your skin, so we don't want to put anything too heavy on. So I'm going to be starting with a tinted sunscreen. So we're just going to be using a little bit of an SPF that has a glow to it. I've been really into glowy skin. We love that look. You see it everywhere on social media at the moment. So I'm going to be showing you a really cool and easy product. This is a glow screen from Supergoop. This stuff is bomb. It's very, very lightweight in texture, but it does give you a little bit of coverage. And I'm just going to very lightly apply this on my skin. So I'm starting off with a little bit of color corrector. This one is from Smashbox X Becca. This is the shade medium. I really like this. It's like a peachy salmon color. I have a little bit of discoloration around my mouth, and your girl has dark circles. So we're gonna be covering those up very lightly. So I'm just taking a little bit of this product, just a very small amount, and I'm gonna very lightly go in and just apply it where the darkness, the shadow kind of happens. I don't like to go all the way up to my lash line. I find that that can look cakey and heavy very easily. So you want to do really, really thin layers, exactly where you need it. This side just looks a little bit more brighter overall, but still looks very natural. So we're gonna move on to concealer now. I'm gonna be using two concealers from Sephora. This is the Sephora Collection brand. One is an anti-perfection blemish concealer. I do have some imperfections and active acne, and this concealer is infused with salicylic acid, so it actually helps with healing the acne at the same time, but covering it as well. And then I have just the Future Gel Serum Concealer. This stuff is super lightweight, very natural looking, and it's buildable. So if you need more coverage, you're able to get more coverage out of it without it looking heavy or cakey on the skin. And I'm not gonna go really close to my lash line. I'm gonna keep it a little bit lower. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna apply it around the mouth. And I'm going to take a little bit down the bridge of my nose. I like to highlight my nose a little bit with whatever concealer I am using under my eyes, just to kind of bring the center of the face a little bit more forward. It just makes your nose look a little bit taller as well. And now we're just going to blend this out. Again, not too close to the lash line. It's just kind of in this area, like a little triangle. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of spot concealing in some areas. I'm not gonna cover everything up because, like I said, we still want our skin to show through. And I'm just gonna apply it on a few spots that I have. I have one right on my little lip area. So annoying, but we work with it, it's fine. Here I am using a Pro Concealer brush from Sephora. This is just like a really small, basically a small version of a foundation brush would be. So I'm just going to very lightly dab this. Just in the spot where I applied the concealer. So you're just very lightly dabbing it out. This way you're not moving the product around too much, but you are able to get the coverage exactly where you want it to be. So for base makeup, I'm just gonna keep it here. Honestly, sometimes just concealer is all you really need. You don't need to put on a full face of foundation. Just let your skin breathe. Summertime is the time to not wear too much. So let's let it be all natural. We are going to move on to a little bit of cream blush. Now, it's not something that everyone uses, but it does give you the most natural look, a natural flush look to the skin. I'm just taking a Huda Beauty cream cheek stain, and I'm just gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand. I don't like to apply directly. I find that it just moves the other makeup around. So I always take a little bit on the back of my hand, and then we will go in with a makeup sponge and just very lightly tap it onto the skin. And we're gonna very lightly start stamping this onto the skin. For now, that is all of our cream products. We're gonna move on to just setting some areas with a translucent powder. So I'm just gonna be using a translucent powder from NARS. This is my little travel slides one that I brought with me. And I'm gonna be taking a little Sephora. This is actually a sculpting blush brush. So we're just gonna take a little bit on the brush, and I'm just gonna very lightly pat this in. I'm gonna take a little bit on the forehead. I am more on the oilier side, so I do like to set the center of my face. The skin is still very dewy overall, but the center of the face is a little bit more softer. It looks almost blurred. I love the effect. So now we're gonna move on to a little bit of bronzing and highlighting. I'm a person that always contours. I cannot go without it. I like to give a little bit of more shape to my face. So I'm gonna be using a Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm face palette. So I'm just gonna quickly bronze up my face a little bit. I'm just gonna go in with this lighter shade right over here for the bronzer. And this is the IT Cosmetics face brush. Love this. Anything that has a dome shape like this to it makes it very soft and easy to apply the product without it going patchy or blotchy on the skin. I'm just gonna very lightly graze this on the top right here. And then we're gonna go right down the cheekbones. Okay, for the cheekbones, what you wanna do is you wanna go from the top of your ear to the corner of your lip right here. This is kind of like an easy way to find your cheekbone area and how to contour easily. So use that as a guideline all the way down, and you wanna stop right at the corner of your eye. This little area right over here is where you want to apply your bronzer or contour. Starting from the back and just bringing it forward. Just very lightly fanning it forward. And then bring it all the way down. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to contour my nose a little bit. So I'm just going in with a really small dome brush right here. So I'm gonna be starting at the tip of my nose and just from the bottom, shading it in and following the natural shape of my nose. Just around the perimeter. And another area I like to always contour is the bridge right over here. So a really natural way of doing your nose contour is kind of following this area, like the natural shadow that you have right underneath your brow bone, right over here. And you're also blending it into your brows. That is how you kind of mimic a very natural nose contour. very diffuse. There's no harsh lines here. There shouldn't be any harsh lines, so we will be going over it with powder afterwards as well, just to soften the look overall. So once you're done with this, just gonna go back with your powder brush that you use, and you're gonna lightly just diffuse any of the harsh edges that might be left from the contour. My little powder brush right over here, I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna go kind of towards the tip of my nose as I'm blending it. Just so that I'm not dragging the product outwards, where it kind of defeats the purpose of giving a little bit of a shaped nose. So you're kind of blending it inwards. And you can also go on your brow right over here. We're now going to be moving on to eyes. We're really not going to be doing a lot. I'm going to show you some of my favorite cream eyeshadows. These are from Laura Mercier. They last up to 12 hours. They don't crease. They're really long lasting. I'm going to be using two different colors. We have a little bit of a lighter shade, which is like a really nice champagne shade. And I'm going to be applying this in the inner corner and the center of my eyelid. So if you go in with your fingers and just very lightly blend that out. So you can go right in the waterline, and I hope that you can tell a difference just from one side to the other. You can also bring like a champagne shade to the inner corner bottom right over here. And again, it just kind of opens up and brightens your eyes. I'm gonna use a little bit of a taupey shade this time, and I'm gonna be applying this towards my lash line. Instead of using an actual eyeliner, I'm just gonna be doing this color to give a little bit more depth and dimension to my eyes. It also defines the lash line a little bit more. You can also bring it to the bottom corners right here. And I'm gonna use an angled brush just to really soften this line out. And now we are gonna move on to a little bit of mascara, and then we're gonna do our brows really quickly. We're gonna keep the brows very natural. If you have some more areas where there needs to be more filling in, you can go in with like a really small pencil, something that has a really fine tip to it, so you can kind of mimic those hair-like strokes very easily with this. Or I'm gonna be using just a little bit of brow gel, and I'm just gonna very lightly from the bottom of my brows just brush this in. It just makes them look a little bit more groomed if you compare one side to the other. Just very soft, very natural. For mascara, I'm actually going to be using my current obsession. This is also from Sephora. This is their Big by Definition mascara. It has a really small, teeny tiny brush. What I like about this, it really separates your lashes beautifully. It is a lengthening mascara, so for a more natural look, instead of going for something that's really like clumpy or volumizing, this just gives you a much more natural, soft look. So just like if you are looking in a mirror, kind of like just go like this. Go in and just go right at the tip of the lashes and just brush them out. You're not going all the way in, you're just going in very lightly at the tip of the lashes and just brushing them out. I hope you guys can see. This is just one light coat of this mascara on one side, then the other. It still looks very natural. It's not too dark. On the other side, I'm gonna show you guys how, like if you were to apply just like regular mascara, how it would look, just so you can kind of see the difference. So we're just gonna go right in, get really close to the roots, and we're gonna brush them through. Can you guys tell a difference? I hope that you can from both sides. This one just looks a little bit more darker. You can see that the lashes are a little bit more defined overall, while this is just looking very natural. So if you're into a very minimal look, this is the way to go. And if you don't mind a little bit more drama to your lashes, go for this side. Okay, so now we are going to move on to our lips, and I have two options that I'm going to show you guys today for the lip products. One I have is, this is from Merit. This is a tinted lip oil. So if you are looking for something a little bit more hydrating, something with a little bit of color, a wash of color overall, and not be sticky on the lips like a lip gloss would be, a tinted lip oil is the way to go. And this, I know, looks like a very scary shade, but it translates really natural on the lips. So I'm gonna try this one first. So I'm just gonna start in the middle. So this is what this tinted lip oil looks like overall. Again, very lightweight on the lips. It's moisturizing, so if you like more of a glossy look, this is definitely something that you can try out for yourself. And now we're gonna move on to our second lip color. This is from Dior. This is actually a long-lasting lip tint. So if you guys want something that won't transfer if you are wearing masks and things like that. So we're just gonna apply this in the center of our lips. It's a very watery texture, so a little bit goes a long way. It always looks very intense at first. So we're just gonna go in. So after you do that, you're just gonna take your fingers and lightly dab this all over. It just looks very soft, very natural, just gives you a little bit of flush of color on the lips overall. And like I said, it is a lip tattoo, it's a tint, it's gonna stay on and not come off. So you can put anything else on top of it throughout the day if you need to. So this is gonna be our last step for this look. We're just gonna set all of this in place with a little bit of setting spray. I'm just using the Forever Perfector from Dior. This is a really nice hydrating one. So it's just gonna settle all the powders that we used earlier, just kind of melt it into the skin. And that is our no makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this and learned a few tips and tricks along the way. And thank you so much for watching.